Do you remember when Saudi Arabia announced their sci-fi city that was supposed to be a 170-kilometre mirrored wall in the desert? Yeah, the line. It looks like that wild dream has quietly hit pause. Today, we're looking at what the line was meant to be, why it basically stalled, and how Saudi seems to have pivoted from utopian city to giant GPU farm. So what was the line supposed to be? The line was pitched as a straight line city in the desert, about 170 kilometres long, 500 metres high, 200 metres wide, housing up to 9 million people. There were to be no cars, no streets, just a super dense, zero carbon city with high-speed transit blasting you from one end to the other in about 20 minutes. It sat inside NEOM, a massive mega project on the Red Sea, and was meant to be the crown jewel of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. A new economy, new tourism, new tech, new everything. On paper, it was like someone turned a sci-fi concept art board into a national development plan. So what actually happened? Essentially, reality turned up with a calculator. As the real numbers came in, cost estimates blew up into the multi-trillion-dollar range and timelines pushed out toward the middle of the century and beyond. By late 2024, reports were already saying, this isn't really a 2030 project, this might even be a 2080 situation. So the plan quietly shrank. Instead of building 170 kilometres, the near-term ambition dropped to just a few kilometres with a fraction of the original population. So it went from city of the future to very expensive pilot stretch in the desert. Then in 2025, construction on the line was effectively put on ice. Work on the main stretch was suspended for a strategic review. Since then, you've mostly got foundations and support works, but not a rising megacity. Officially, no one has said the line is cancelled. The website even still exists. But in practice, it's stalled, it's been scaled back, and nowhere near the original idea. Meanwhile, there has been a pivot to an AI data centre. While the line is sitting there in limbo, another part of NEOM is suddenly getting all the attention: Oxagaon. This is a coastal industrial zone where Saudi has signed a multi-billion-dollar deal to build a huge AI data centre hub. Think of it as an AI factory, hundreds of megawatts of power, racks of GPUs, high-speed connectivity, all built to run big AI models and cloud workloads. The project is planned in phases, with the first chunk of capacity coming online later this decade and the full campus scaling up from there. The goal is simply to turn the kingdom into a top-tier provider of AI compute. Basically one of the main places where the world rents its GPUs, compared to a 170-kilometre experimental city that might take generations to build. An AI campus that can start generating revenue in the late 2020s is a much cleaner bet. The line, as originally hyped, is not happening anytime soon. Officially, it still exists as a long-term vision, but it's hard to believe that it will ever move forward. Many people, possibly fairly, will say that this was always too ambitious and was destined to fail. Meanwhile, parts of NEOM are still very much alive, with billions of dollars still flowing into certain parts of the overall area. From a storytelling angle, it's kind of poetic. The line was supposed to be the most visible project on Earth, a literal wall in the desert, and the thing that might actually survive is the invisible stuff: server racks humming away in air-conditioned boxes. So what do you think? Is this a smart pivot? Forget the crazy city, build the AI backbone instead? Or is this just a quiet admission that the original dream was never realistic in the first place? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, we'd recommend watching this video next, and we'd be eternally grateful if you'd like to subscribe for more content. See you soon.